I do comedy and I look like this. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I realized that I can't die right now because I haven't even been gay that long. Yeah, I've only been gay for 6 years. Full time. Yeah. Yeah, I was being gay on the weekends and that shit don't count, okay? You gotta put in real hours with this gay stuff. All right, now I have like a gay mentor to make sure I hit all gay 12 steps. I have a straight parole officer to make sure I don't do no straight shit no more. Right? Like kiss with both your eyes closed. You do that? Yes, you do. Very straight. That is so, you straight, Yeah, I kiss with both my eyes open. That's very gay. We just want to fucking see your soul. That is so romantic, right? Yeah, I'm Femme. I see a lot of you people looking. There's a lot of guys that are like, gay look like that now? Yes, we look like this. Not all of us are Ellen, okay? If you don't know what Femme is, Femme means I dress like I look like I want men to talk to me, but I don't. Unless you're industry, right? Whoever books Riverdale, come talk to me. I want to be on that show. I will talk to you, Trevor, all right? 2 years ago, I went to LA to shoot this TV show pilot, and like they put me in first class. Well, it was just the front of the plane, but like, you know, Spirit, that is first class on Spirit. And I was like, excuse me, my seat. I got there 3 hours early to get that seat. But before I even get on the plane, right, I go through TSA, and TSA always gives me some problems because I always have like a jar of lotion. And they hate the jars of lotion. They're like, why do you need this much moisture? I was like, to cover my neck, miss, to cover my neck. I don't need Hollywood to know how old I am, okay? So they stopped me, they stopped my purse, and that's not a big deal for me. They always stopping me, they always hating on me. But originally, there was a white person that was scanning my thing, so I was very, very nervous. But then I saw a black woman, I was like, sis, we good. And then she was actually like, sis, we are not good. When they stopped my purse, a whole bunch of police came by my purse. And they were like, is this yours? I was like, maybe. What we talking about? So, but besides pulling out my jar of Pond's, they pulled out this police baton. And they was like, this is a weapon. And I said, I had no idea. Police never use that. They always pull out the gun first. So, is it a weapon? You tell me. They were like, what are you doing? I was like, that is a gift. So that's not really mine. That was a gift. And they will throw you in jail if it's a gift. I will let you know. They law and ordered me right at the TSA. Like, people from Wisconsin had their phones out. It was like World Star. I mean, it was real messy. And like, I had on an obnoxious coat. I had on my track pants, right? So everybody thought that I was selling drugs. Like, they thought I was a mule. But that wasn't the case. I had a police baton. And then my friend who was also shooting the pilot saw me, and I was in handcuffs. They law and ordered me right in front of her. And I was like, tell him I'm not gonna make it. You're gonna have to go without me. And she's like, sis, I'm already on the plane. Call your lawyer. So, I kept telling the people at TSA, I was like, I'm going to LA to shoot a pilot for this network that rhymes with B, right? I kept telling everybody, I was like, I'm gonna be on B. I'm gonna be on B. Not BET, but B. I was gonna be on B. They were like, call the bus, call the bus. Like you see on the shows, call the bus. They called this big ass van. They threw me in there, right? And they took me to airport jail, which is worse than regular jail because they don't have no Biscoff, right? So you ain't got no snack, no peanuts, no nothing. Just dry ass airport jail. So I'm in there and with my obnoxious coat and everything, and they take everything off of you. They take the shoelaces off because they don't want you to like strangle yourself. And I was wearing braids at the time, so they asked me if my braids were detachable, which is racist. Like, I was like, whoa, that is aggressive, like, and homophobic. How dare you ask a black woman if she could take her hair off? Because I could, but they don't need to know that. And also, I was like, this grade of hair is not strong enough for me to strangle myself, so This was on sale, thank you.
Sex is cool, but they always show these like movies where there's these sex scenes and the like lead up to it is like so dramatic, and I just can't relate to it. Like they'll have a man and a woman go in the house and they're kind of drunk, and like the guy will throw the woman up against the wall and rip her blouse off. Yeah, that I can't relate to that. As a woman in New York, you know how many shifts I fucking worked to get that blouse? And you just ripping it off. You didn't even ask. You didn't ask for consent for the blouse? You asked me, but you didn't ask the blouse. Is that okay? And then I threw that little packet away with the buttons. Like, no, you can't just rip off my buttons like that, bitch. I need my buttons. I wanna see a sex scene that's like super relatable for me, you know? Like I wanna see them throw a woman up against the wall and rip her blouse and then the tag come out, you know? She's like, I didn't know this date was gonna go this well. I was gonna return this shirt tomorrow. Don't get nothing on it. I'm not Monica Lewinsky, you know what I mean? Zara will not take this shit back.
I don't know if you learned anything about yourself during the pandemic, but I did. Don't love what I learned. I learned that I'm a high-functioning depressed person. Anyone else? Yeah. Hot and sad? Yeah, that's what we are. I was living in filth the whole pandemic. So I was on the phone with a friend, and she was like, why don't you just get a cleaning person? And I was like, yeah, why won't I get a cleaning person? I started thinking about what kind of cleaning person I want to come in my home. I was like, do I want them short? Do I want them tall? Do I want them to have long hair? Do they need all their teeth? Like, you know, I definitely wanted an ethnic person to come into my house. I feel like it's a little problematic. I definitely just don't want a white person coming, right? They don't know how to clean. That's why they never have white people cleaning their homes. Listen, if you think white people can clean, there was a thread on Twitter that asked them, do you wash their legs? And 90% of them said, nah, yeah. I'm not trusting you in my kitchen. I just can't. You don't wash your legs. Like, oh, we just let the water drip down our leg. No. I'm not trusting you with the corners of my bathtub, bitch. Like, let's go. So I got on this app, and this one guy, Manuel, had a 4.9 rating, and I was like, oh, he must be a murderer. Let's go. So I don't see a picture of Manuel, but I was like, he's got to be like 5'5". He probably has a family. He's probably like 65 years old. He's gonna come in, look at my house, judge me, but not say a thing. And that's what I want. So when Manuel comes to my door, can you believe he's 25 years old, 6'3", abs on his fucking forehead, just too hot. I was like, I don't know if he's coming to clean the house. I feel like he is about to drop some dick off, right? I just cannot stop looking at him. Now, I'm gay, but I'm not blind. So the whole time, I'm like, okay, you know, yeah, it's hot in here. You might as well take your shirt off. He comes in, but he tells me that his name is Manny, and I was like, you should have put Manny on the app because Manny sounds young. I want an older man. So I just didn't trust that he knew what to do. I started explaining everything. I was like, now this is the bathroom, this is the kitchen, this is my corner where I masturbate. Don't look. It's a lot of Taco Bell and vibrators that are almost on E. Don't touch nothing in that corner. That's church. So then he starts in the kitchen, and do you know he lifts up my refrigerator to clean underneath the refrigerator? I said, am I wet? Like, I got so moist. Oh, y'all don't know what an orgasm is until you see just lifting a whole. I was like, is Superman in this bitch? What is going on? So he cleaned underneath the refrigerator, and then he got on the top of the refrigerator. So Manny is my man now. He's my man. I'm actually his foster mother now. We did not have sex because I'm a good Christian gay.
I was in a relationship for 5 years, and it's like I didn't go further with it because like the next step was marriage, and I just don't want to get married for the wrong reasons. Like, I have friends that are getting married because they don't want to die alone. Bitch, grow up. Grow up. Nobody want to see you die. That is just... How selfish are you? Listen, I've seen the way I sleep. I don't need you to see me die. No, not at all. I saw a picture of me sleeping. Both my eyes were open. I was looking like I was taking a shit. There's no way I want you to see me die. And then imagine if you spend 30 years with somebody for them to be with you on the last day. Imagine your last day, you on a Casper mattress, because if you're gonna die, you're gonna go out in comfort, right? And then you with some guy named Trevor, who used to be a DJ in a performance fleece, because that's who's just around. And you ready to go out, and you whisper to him, you're like, I think this is it. He wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared for you to die. Like, he doesn't even know how to fold a fitted sheet. You think he knows what to do when you die? So he runs out the room to get some tissue, and then you dead by yourself, bitch, like that. What a waste of 30 years. I was with you for 30 years. I was at every fucking show dancing and shit. And you weren't making me. What a waste. Everybody gotta be single.